You know what I like about this movie? It's that it feels like a movie. To quote our new leading star of practically the world, Harry Styles. In this video, we will be talking about our new kind of blockbuster movie, Don't Worry, Darling, directed by Olivia Wilde and also starring Olivia Wilde, Florence Pugh, and Harry Styles. Okay, so I tried to film this, and you can see that I did film this, but I forgot to turn the microphone on. So this is me a few days later, um, getting to think about the movie more and compare it to other movies and talk about it again. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The first scene of the movie is very interesting. I don't know why they picked this scene other than it caused controversy right away. What I hate most seeing on screen is people drunk. It's just so like I hate seeing people drunk in real life, but on screen, oh my god, I would rather close my eyes. But it was an interesting tone. I guess they wanted to put this scene first because it's going to speak for the film that it is hypnotic and that it's not grounded, which is interesting, but it was a little long. And of course, we get our Harry kissing a boy scene, which is kind of what the world wants to see, right? Since he's playing so much with femininity and he gets hated for his queer baiting, so let's give it to them in the first minute of the movie. It's interesting that they casted Harry for this role because he's obviously the number one pop male artist in the world. Besides and next to Bad Bunny and maybe Drake, but they're all in different lanes. Bad Bunny has the Spanish route, Drake has the rap route, and Harry has the pop route. But did you know that Harry is making so much history, but on top of that, he's making about like $3 million a day? Like, that is crazy. But do you think he can win the award for any awards for this role? I'll let you think about that and I'll tell you my idea. I think they might give him the award because this movie was made more for the audience that votes for who wins the award more than made for the general public. A Marvel movie or a superhero movie is made to fill seats, right? When you go to a Marvel movie, it's pretty interesting. Would you do that? Can you buy karma? And would you want to? And is it a trap? I love those like philosophical questions. And this movie has a few in it. This movie was more Pisces in the sense that it was like, oh, it was, you can tell every single reference, but it took every reference and made it their own movie, which is very hard to do because sometimes you make movies and it's just like, oh, it was obvious you're just making that movie shot by shot by shot by shot. It was interesting how this one had the references, but it also kind of was telling us in an undertone of like, this is real and this is possible. Like the new AI technology and VR game and video gaming systems that are available to us now. It played around with those concepts. And the crackings of the walls of what happens if you're trapped in this simulation and you acknowledge it, or you remember your spirituality, you remember your divinity, you remember who you really are behind the drugs, behind the brainwashing, and what you do after that. Well, towards the last 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, they could end this movie any second and they could do like a black screen. And I was like waiting for it. That's what made this movie enjoyable. Like the last 10 minutes was that I was like, how are they gonna end us? How are they gonna end us? And they ended it perfectly. They ended it with, spoiler alert, Florence Welch killing Harry Styles and being the Mockingjay and being the independent woman, being the Truman Show, leaving the game, breaking the fourth wall, and going back into real life. I wonder if this movie can just be a dream. It can just be one big fever dream or one big acid trip, right? Like one big mushroom trip. You're breaking down all the patriarchy standards that we lived in and still live in. And it's so funny that they even played with the concept of like men drive, women don't. And it's so ironic that that ideal is still practical and alive today, like around the Middle Eastern countries. That is still a belief that is real, that women aren't taught to drive. So that was very huge and very poignant, that she grabs the wheel and slams the pedal and drives away. It was just a cool scene to see, like, blonde hair, pretty girl with her husband's blood on her drive away, taking charge, leaving the game. I give this movie about 7 out of 10 because I love female stories. Do you love female stories? If you don't, well, then I don't want to have a conversation with you. Bye. But I would recommend you watch this. And I hope you enjoyed some questions that I asked and that I got to ask myself and we got to explore. But that's the power of movie making. Right? When it reflects to you all the decades past and even the present moment. And it snaps you out of the mental madness and daily dialogue. Okay, I tried to say 2 words and I came up with dialogue. Like, what does that even mean? I meant daily struggle and daily dialogue. Daily dialogue of your mental madness and all the mundaneness of the world. A movie is what? An hour and 30 minutes long, and it could reflect to you 50 years of life or 50 years of American history at once. And that is so powerful. And it quickens your energy and it quickens your thoughts. So goodbye to you. I'm gonna go deal with my daily dialogues. But do you watch this movie and I'll come back to this and watch this and see if Harry gets the award, if Florence gets the award. I don't think they will. I think they're too young. They didn't give Gaga her award for the first movie she was in. I don't think they're going to give it to Harry. I don't think they're going to give it to Florence. She's still too young. It's so weird how in Hollywood, you're like too young for the award, but then once you age out of Hollywood, you have no roles. But we're in a weird time where it's about TV movies. I mean, like Netflix streaming services movies, and it's about woman stories. Maybe she'll get the nomination, but We'll see. I'll talk to you later.